Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's this live stream. This is the first in a long while we'll do the weekend live stream. Hopefully, but in usual Greenticker fashion, we start early. Anybody who's joined any of our Greenticker sessions, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on YouTube here, as much as possible, we like to start early. So I see the room filling in. And I should have Senko up in a bit. Charles, I'm sure, will be joining us. We're having the team, having the entire team joining us. I'm just going to wait for the room to fill a bit. If you have any questions, feel free to share your questions. I'm open to taking questions between now and I think 7 o'clock. We could take questions that anybody has. If you have any questions, feel free to share your questions. I have my screen set up, so if I need to do any calculations or anything, I will take them. Hopefully, the NGX corporate disclosure portal behaves itself today, and we would take any questions that are available. So I see 8 people watching. Let me know where you're watching from. Let's know. Where are you watching from? We have a lot of Canadians in the audience from the past live streams we do. So shout out to everybody who's watching from Canada. Shout out to all the Greenticker warriors watching from the UK. Big shout out to everyone who's watching from the US. We don't have too many people watching in the US. It's mostly UK, Canada. So a big shout out to everyone that is watching. I hope it's been a good day, and I hope you're gearing up. You're ready to go. I should have Senko in a bit. Senko, are you there? So let me know. Anyone have any questions? I see 9 people. Feel free to share your questions. Let's see if I can refresh this once more. It's 11 people here. So nobody has any questions? That's rather odd. Okay. If there are no questions, let me just skip to my screen. So let's look at how last week was for the NGX. The all-share index fell by 1.35%. Yesterday, the all-share index gained about 0.07%. I know you have different accounts, and that is something we often deal with on the NGX. Data reconciliation and just having the right figures, it's a bit of a struggle. So a lot of times when you see our Greenticker content, especially in the evenings, market close coming a bit later than usual, it's because we are trying to reconcile the various closing figures. But this is the official NGX data. So the all-share index fell by 1.35%. last week. Index measures the average performance of stocks. What were the top gainers? Holding my call. This is a surprise to me. I wasn't expecting it. Holding my call was the best performing stock last week. HM Call was the best performing stock last week. So on the loser side of things, you had International Energy Insurance. As the loser for the week. Did the live just start? Yes, it started about 6 minutes. 6 minutes ago. Started about 6 minutes ago. Yeah, started 6 minutes ago. I think Senko should be joining anytime from now. Which sectors are investors overlooking? That's an interesting question. That's an interesting question. I'll take it from two perspectives. I think people are sleeping on the tier two banks. Yes, 2026 may not be a year for banks. I think people are sleeping on the tier two banks. People are somewhat also sleeping on the insurance space. I think if you understand and if you look at some of the pre-market coverage and just generally check the content, any content on the Greenticker platforms that covered insurance, you would find out that many of the insurance stocks are trading below book value. It doesn't make sense, to have insurance stocks trading below book value. You've raised money. Book value essentially is the capital put into the business by the firm plus past profits kept. It doesn't make sense having a company trading below that. But that's the market. Sometimes markets will undervalue firms. Can we still attribute? Let's see if I have the full squad. I see Senko is here. That's great. So Senko, nice to have you. Can we still attribute we've not had a massive sell-off in this market, Isaac. We've not had a massive sell-off. Senko, can you speak? Are you
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I also have Charles here. So great. It's a full house, a full squad tonight. Just need Azar and
We've not had a
Jim.
sell-off since June. The last time that we had a double-digit sell-off in June. So August has been kind of swanky. Let's just say 1 point between 1. That's what the ASI is down around that range. So we've not really had any kind of massive sell-off.
So yeah, I totally align with Senko. We've not really had a sell-off. And even if you're going to look at things from the technical analysis side of things, I think we are around let's see if I can get to trading view. We should be around about 239, 240k. So that's index. I mean, we are at 240k, so we are still comfortably in a good zone. If I recall, I think the high this year was probably somewhere around maybe 250 something k zone. So at 240k, you're just barely less than 10% below the high, all-time high. I think Central will give more highlight. But if you look at where the oil share index is at the moment, um, at 240k, we are just on the pivot spot. Resistance is maybe 254 R1. I think between R1 and R2 is where our all-time high is. So we are not far off at 240K. So we are not. We've not had a massive sell-off. We had a dip, which is normal. People taking profit. When you look at the fact that the market is still up, I mean, what's the year-to-date performance of the market? The
54.
market is up by 54% year-to-date. So the market that is up
What
54%
was
year-to-date.
what was the all-time high? We probably got to like 60. So there's nothing like
Sell-off.
sell-off here. What we are experiencing is a little bit of
Trading closer to
price
the all-time high,
price correct.
254,000 points. So yeah, I agree with you, Joe.
Yeah, what we are experiencing is a little bit of price correction and uh, recalibration of portfolios. Certain some of these stocks are consolidating. For a sell-off to happen, a couple of factors have to have occurred. Looking at the state of health of most of our companies, I think they are doing very well. I people this sell-off thing is uh, being propagated by people who are probably new in the market. They keep referring to 2007, 2008, and uh, they just take their mind back there and they just think everything is repeating itself again. For a market that is 54% off, 54% up, there's nothing like a sell off there. And, this is where one thing I would tell people in the market is the only way you keep winning in this market is when you stay grounded. So if because you probably bought at the top, because I know what is happening. A lot of people came into the market when they were hearing news that the market was popping. Like there was a time the market was going up like every day. You go to your portfolio, it would have been every day you check your portfolio, it would have gone up by a few couple of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, as the case may be. It became an everyday thing. But that kind of thing wasn't going to be sustainable. That's not how the market works. So right now, what happened that a lot of people came in at the top when the kept going around. Oh, the Nigerian Stock Exchange is doing extremely well. And then they went in, bought at the top, and then the correction started. Again, um, depending on the stock you bought, even if you bought at the top, right? Um, if it's a solid fundamental stock, they'll be the first to recover. Because what we are seeing now is playing according to our playbooks. I remember in our spaces, maybe in our maybe a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, we made it very, very clear that the market is going to be trading sideways for a very long time till like probably after the elections. Like when we made that statement, it looked like we were just talking for the fun of it. But it's just playing out as we predicted it. Okay. And then, a lot of things have been happening. Um, we always have a way of shooting ourselves in the foot because especially when things are going smoothly, we find a way of maybe introducing a policy that is not very clear, trying to uh, uh, bite more than we can chew, and in the end, it comes back to bite us, right? Uh, and we know the market generally does not like it when policies are not well defined, where they are not clear. Coupled with the fact that the elections are coming, the patterns of the elections we are seeing so far, people are dying and all that. It's not something that um, instills any kind of confidence into the market. And if you look at the market, it's mostly driven by foreign portfolio investors. I know a lot of people misinterpret when they say, oh, domestic investors, there are more domestic investors in the market than foreign investors. The question is, what is the value of the domestic investor vis-a-vis the value of the foreign portfolio investor. How much are the portfolio investors, foreign portfolio investors putting in the market versus how much the domestic investors are putting in the market? And one miscalculation, I think where the miscalculation seems to be coming from, all almost all the diasporan investors who are sending in foreign funds into the market are classified as domestic investors. Because what they do is they send this money, they change it, it goes into their bank account, into their local bank account, and then they send it to their broker. And all those are calculated as local inflows. Not knowing that, like for me now, I send my money from where I stay, I send it to my bank or through my fintech, which converts it and then sends it to my broker. So the fintech is either sending it to my bank account in Nigeria, and then from my bank account, I send it to my broker, which is what most people do. And then you will now say those are domestic inflow, which is not correct. I'm making this clarification now because I've heard a lot of people call me, oh, they are more domestic. The foreign investors, if the foreign investors can go, why are we so happy that S&P 500 have put us on watch list? Why are we so happy that FTSE is coming? Why are we so happy that MSCI might come in? Why are we so happy that JP Morgan is setting up offices in Lagos? Why are we so happy that Agusto, a rating company in Nigeria, has been bought over by S&P? So we must be guided in some of this information we read and know how to interpret them properly. The truth of the matter is the members of this team, believe you me, the amount of work we do, the amount of work we put in every day, we are in different parts of the world. But if we don't talk in a day, we are talking minimum of 4 to 5 times a day because we are looking at situations, we are watching situations develop. And what we basically want to do is give people a head start over every other investor. We want to give you a head start. So sometimes there are certain equities we might pick, and you'll be wondering, what are these guys looking at? What are they thinking about? Oh, well, if you don't understand, ask for clarity. That's what we always say. But, we can tell you for free, go and buy this, go and buy that, go and buy this, go and buy that, right? Uh-huh. But it depends on the kind of investor you are, okay? Not everybody can buy certain stocks that we'll recommend. And, you know, I've seen a lot of write-ups. I've seen a lot of people write all kinds of things. But you know what? At the end of the day, if you value what we do and you think it's of benefit to you, just keep grinding. Just keep being in the market. If you leave the market, you miss the run. I always say quitters never win and winners never quit. That's the mantra. So this sell-off thing is overblown. It's a minor correction that is happening. And if you panic and sell away all your stocks because you think it's going to remain like this forever, then you would have missed the point. But always remember, when we uh, get to work and we tell you to buy something, we are not asking you to buy today so that tomorrow, if you what you bought for 1 million today will be 10 million tomorrow. We always put timelines. We always do that. So looking at the market right now, both for uh, highly priced stocks and lowly priced stocks, and being highly priced does not mean the stock is expensive, and being lowly priced does not mean the stock is cheap. But for both set of stocks right now in the market, there are bargains, there are discounts. And for people who are just getting into the market, if you are new in the market, this is one opportunity you can use to better your life. And if you are new in the market and you probably have like maybe between 100,000 to like 1 million to invest, I'm not going to ask you to go and start buying uh, uh, GTB, Zenith. Because if you are going to buy Zenith, that means Zenith or GTB. You might as well put the whole 1 million there, right? But when I see a cheap stock that I know when things get back to normal, this stock can do at least a minimum of times 5 for you, and your Zenith will probably do times 2 or times 3 for you. It becomes your decision. But if you say, oh, like preserve your capital, I see a lot of write-off. Like if you notice in the market right now, all those people who were very, very active when the market was booming, they've gone quiet. We are still here. We'll be here every day until we get our aim of making sure people are making money. That's what we are here to do. You can laugh at some recommendations we make, but there's something we will never do. We will never come back to tell you, I told you so. You are bigger than that. We don't do such things. We don't. And for any recommendation that we make, we are just pointing you in direction of where we think there might be a bargain. The rest is up to you to go and do your research and find out if this fits you or not. Don't go and buy. You could buy today. I remember Warren Buffett, he was saying there were times he bought certain stocks and immediately he buys, they start to dip. They start going down until it gets to that point where the market will not dictate that, man, this is a grossly undervalued equity, and then the run will start. And that's why his returns in the market were formidable, were mind blowing. There were certain equities he got into lately or very late. Uh, and, it was because for him, there were certain things, if he doesn't understand it, he's not buying. There were certain equities that took him time to understand. And every time he keeps saying he wished he had gone in there early. But we are looking at everything that is happening in the country. We are looking at government policies, and then we make these recommendations. Like I said, right now, for lowly priced stocks, for expensive stocks, there are bargains all over the place. Bargains all over the place. And it's up to you to say, just because you bought, in situations like this, you don't buy, you don't go at once to buy. Because you ask yourself, between now and maybe the end of the year, what is that catalyst that is going to make these equities move? Is there any? During the period of elections, there are always uncertainties. And because of that, and like I said, the elections that we've had so far, we've had a lot of casualties in terms of people losing their lives. And what happens in situations like this is the people who move the market, they don't bring in any fresh inflow. So if you've noticed in the past 1 month or thereabout, the value of trade has really decreased. So what you see is they've sold out some positions. Most of them are in cash, and then what they are basically doing is rotating. They are rotating from one equity to another, but no fresh money is really coming in. No fresh money is coming in. But where this confidence is coming for us that the market is going to go up is the amount of investment uh, the government have made in certain areas. You know, the amount of investment that is going into oil and gas you need to dig. You need to find out more and see what is happening in that sector. We have not seen anything yet. Anybody is thinking Seplat, Aradel, and all that will not move again. You have to think again because there's so much development right now. In fact, there are going to be more oil and gas companies that will float in the NGX in another 3 to 5 years. Okay, so we just you just need to do a little bit more research, see how much money the government is spending in infrastructures, in buildings, in other areas, where there's no attention. You know, uh, when somebody was asking what sector has been the um, most undervalued, Onome, was that the question or what?
No, the question was what's between UB and Costuda, which of them is true? Okay, yes, that was the question. There were two questions. What sectors are undervalued? Yes,
Okay,
that
and
people are overlooking.
okay, so and what did you reply to them? I'm just looking at the sectors and
I mean,
the
I say insurance sector is clearly
prime.
undervalued.
Yes.
Um, I think a couple of companies in the even in the tier two bank space,
Okay.
some of
Okay.
them are undervalued.
And I completely agree with you in the insurance sector being completely undervalued. And uh, every day we dish out reports about off-market deals. People should pay attention to those things. We cannot. Did you share the link to this space to all our platforms, Onome?
Yes,
Okay.
shared on Telegram,
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp,
Okay.
Twitter.
Okay. Because uh, one thing I want people to take note of in the insurance space is just follow the money. I know some people don't buy insurance. Insurance is rubbish to them. If you're not buying insurance, I don't have any problem with that. Okay, just buy your Seplat, buy your Aradel, buy your UACN, buy your WAPCO, buy your Boa Cement, buy your Dangote refinery, and just buy. Okay, you have the money, you can buy, so there's no problem. All right. Um, and if you don't like insurance, don't just everything I'm saying now, just block your ears, don't listen to it. But looking at uh, the capitalization of the insurance companies, how many of those companies did not make capitalization? They all met it. Even the Universal that is having issues now, it's not because they haven't met the capitalization. It's just because they are delaying filing. They even insurance companies that has suspended from trading on the NGS because they've not met regulatory filing. They're always updating NGS that they're just waiting to get this, to get that, and then they will go on their capitalization drive, and then they would inform the public of what to do. The insurance sector that people do not regard, almost all the insurance companies there, they went for fundraising and they met the fundraising requirement. Not a single one came out to say Ella Lakes happened to us. They all met their drive, got the money they wanted. And the truth of the matter is, for a lot of these insurance companies, maybe just one person was all they needed to meet their capitalization. Just one person. They don't need too many people. And what have we found out? What have we found out with the insurance companies? First and foremost, we said the insurance companies are the oldest companies in Nigeria. Go and check. They are the oldest. For most companies that will not survive, they usually fold up within a year or two, between 3 to 5 years, they would have folded up and nothing is going to happen there. These insurers have been in existence for decades. And just because their regulation is lax, just because NICOM, which I really don't know what they are doing sometimes, uh, they give too much leeway, the regulation is lax. I've actually had situations where um, I contacted NICOM to find out what was happening with an insurance company. And I was told that the person in charge of vetting the result and approving the result was on vacation. And because of that, that's why the results are being delayed. That's our country. That's the country we live in. Because somebody who is in charge to make sure that everything is all right with the company, with the results and all that, before they approve, is on vacation. That's why they've not been able to approve the result. Yeah, that's the kind of country we live in. So if that person dies, God knows what happens. I don't know why we have a system where so much powers is vested in certain individuals, such that without those individuals, nothing works. And you know what that breeds? They said absolute power corrupts absolutely. So these are some of the issues we have with insurance companies. So they are the oldest companies. Regulation is lax. They have a way of declaring, undervaluing their companies. Because if the company is not making money, have you ever asked yourself? Because like most times we ask you, when you invest into a company, think about it like you own that company. So the question is, if the company is not making money, why do you keep spending money to run the company? So what is basically happening is the company is making money, but they make it look like they are not making money, which is the modus operandi of most companies in Nigeria. Because the owners of those companies, they want to benefit from what is happening by themselves alone. So they have a bad habit of doing that. So you check first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, you think you are going to go for a grand slam. And then the final quarter, they will tell you claims came from this, claims came from that, claims came financial engineering. You have the best financial engineering happening in those insurance companies. Because all of a sudden, the profit will drop by like, they will lose all the profit they've made from the first to third quarter, right? And somehow they still manage to like pay dividend. Thirdly, because of the fact that they are the oldest companies in the country, there were opportunities they were able to take advantage of when some of the best companies in the country today started. Because if you're not getting money from the bank, you could be getting it from the insurance companies because they do a lot of investment and all that stuff. So you have a situation where some insurance companies have oil blocks. Some insurance companies are major shareholders in some of the biggest, best performing entities in the country. And the final thing we notice is all the big boys in the country, they all have insurance companies. States, individuals, banks, oil and gas companies, they all have stakes in some of these insurance companies. You have to really, really read into this financial information for you to be able to get this, right? So what we need in that space is more clarity, more sanity, and then let them get to work. With the new insurance act that was uh, uh, passed last year, they gave them a wider scope of activities where they could actually go into. They made it compulsory for uh, certain things to be insured. At the end of the day, just ask yourself, how insured is Nigeria? Less than 0.5% of Nigerians are insured. Less than 0.5% of equities are insured, of entities are insured. So you can imagine where we begin to have a situation where it's mandatory. Because if, I mean, like, I don't know how a country runs without insurance. I don't know. That's why buildings collapse, school kids are killed, schools collapse, you know, people drive cars without insurance and stuff like that. Because when you talk insurance, the only insurance people know is car insurance. Every other thing is they don't know that it needs to be insured, you know. So by the time the government begins to for like any building for any building plan to be approved and all that, if they start demanding you go and get it insured first, then these things you will begin to see the importance of insurance. And your investment today, you might be thinking, oh, this insurance are useless and all that. I've told you, for insurance, it's a long game. Okay, this investment you are making today, right? Um, let's see, in like 10 years' time, you'll be thanking God you made it. Why am I saying this? It's like buying land in Banana Island. People who bought land in Banana Island 10, 20 years ago, right? They can't stop thanking God for that gift. How many people can buy land in Banana Island right now? How many? Will your children be able to afford land when you give birth to them? How will they be able to build? So these are the things you think about when you do investments sometimes. It's not uh, something you put today and you expect to like get result the very next day, you know? So yeah, that's where we are with the insurance company. It's grossly undervalued. Uh, in the food and in the FMCG sector, we've seen a lot of things happen, right? There were a lot of deals that were consummated, some kind of mergers and acquisitions, and I'm sure there will be many more. Um, so right now, if you ask me, those mergers and acquisitions are still working. The results have not shown yet. They're still working, and there'll be more. So, like we look at that sector, we look at certain equities, and you see one total market capitalization is like 6 billion. 6 billion, for God's sakes. The company pays dividend. There's nothing materially wrong with the balance sheet, and it's not going to be 6 billion forever. So for it to go from 6 billion to 60 billion is like 10x. You can imagine 60 billion. Like, how can you even have a food and manufacturing company for 6 billion? That's dead giveaway. Like, that's very, very cheap, dead cheap. But again, it's up to you to be designing enough, you know. And instead of you to go and buy something that would probably double, you can actually buy something that would 10x, right? But again, that choice is yours. We are not forcing anybody uh, to do that. Oil and gas, insurance, um, what other sector? Uh, banking. The problem with banking is the way it's going right now. Um, there are too many policies, and because the CBN is very effective in making sure that every bank does their business properly, it's one of the factors that is not making us see the beauty of these second tier banks. You know, you look at a bank like FCMB, you just wonder why it's trading at that price. Okay, again, I think it has reached that point where these banks must really come out and tell their stories. I keep not just banks, our companies must come out and start telling their stories. Because I think because they don't come out enough and elucidate to the investing public what their intentions are, is one major reason why the stocks are priced the way they are. So it's high time that these banks, these companies, they start to come out and tell us what is happening to them. Between Aradel and MTN, which is good for accumulation and which has better prospect for the short to medium term? Uh, you don't do Aradel for short term. MTN will always be good. In fact, the two stocks are good. The two stocks are good. But you want to play safe, keep accumulating your MTN because that one is there are a lot of things that can still happen with MTN. Okay, there are a lot of things that can still happen with MTN. Aradel is not for short term. If you don't have a minimum of 5-year investment uh, span for Aradel, don't buy it. Okay, but in 5 years, if you have Aradel now, let's compare the price in 5 years' time. Seplat was stagnant for a very long time. For a very long time, it was stagnant. All the moves you are seeing today, it hit an all-time high yesterday, you know, in the London Stock Exchange. Because of our pricing methodology, which is not quite clear, it's difficult for you to get proper price discovery. It's not liquid enough and all that stuff. So it's a problem. But if you are buying Naira there for short term, don't even bother. Because if you are looking at what they are trying to do and how they are paying off their debt and stuff like that, it will take quite some time. And once they finish paying off their debt, then that thing will run. And they are doing more investment. I rather it's like investing in like 5, 6 different oil and gas energy companies. So if you are not patient, don't even bother. But if I have money, I will keep accumulating those two. You buy stocks like that. You buy Aradel, you buy MTN, you don't sell. You don't, because they'll keep making you money throughout your lifetime. Those are shares you can bequeath to your kids, right? So if you are lucky to have bought a reasonable chunk of those shares, just keep them in your portfolio and forget that you have them. And always pray that you don't have to dip into it to solve one or two financial problems, you know. So that's my advice on that. Is there any particular stuff we are talking about today?
None at all. We're just taking questions. I think we've answered most of the questions. We'll also ask people to send questions. For those who maybe we have to leave at some point in time, this will be up on the YouTube page. So if you are coming here for the very first time, maybe you are just knowing about Greenticker Tales, follow all the handles. If you check the profile page on YouTube, you find the handles. This would also go up immediately after we are done. It will go up on Facebook, it will go up on Rumble, and it will go up on Spotify and other audio platforms after we're done. So we should round up this space maybe 9:30 tops. We also have we are active almost everywhere. We are literally everywhere. TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Rumble, literally almost all social media platforms. So I always tell people, follow all the platforms. It's impossible to go through all the platforms every day, but I say follow all platforms because sometimes, I mean, for those who only do Twitter, for instance, they're going to miss out on this because I'm not sure we can upload a 2-hour video or 3-hour video to Twitter. We can try, but it may not be possible. We may not have the time to cut it into pieces, you know. So follow all the platforms. Christopher, we just mentioned, we just discussed broadly. Charles just mentioned stocks that are great picks for the long term. Salisu says, what's the effect of dilution on increased shares as a result of recapitalization? I mean, I don't see the dilution as a problem, even though I must acknowledge that it's yes, it's large for a
Short
lot of
term.
the insurance companies,
Yeah.
but it's not. Dilution does not change the book value of the company. The book value is the book value. At best, dilution will reduce your earnings per share. These companies have raised money and they will put the money to work. So in the short term, we might say maybe you might not have a huge dividend. But in more important cases, I think for me, the biggest takeaway from this insurance exercise is the the depth of the Nigerian market. There are many companies, even I myself, I was shocked that if you notice, a lot of these insurance companies didn't make noise and they raised the money easily. No noise, no campaign, no newspaper adverts, no coming to the exchange, no call, no flyers. And about 90% of them raised money. How many insurance companies have lost their licenses or could meet recapitalization? Not more than two, three. So um, we discussed some of these names and can't keep going back. So please take the time to go and listen. We are only just about 30, 45 minutes in. So let's take the time to go through um,
So, so
all
Alame,
that.
even on the this effect of dilution and other, I think the effect is overblown, because at the end of the day, the whole essence, the dilution, the when companies come in to raise money, right? They are going to put that money to work for you. So it's not like bonus shares. It's not like you are getting these shares for free. You are They're actually getting money from those shares, which they plow back into the company based on what they want to do with the money, right? Yes, they will. The like Onome said, the share volume will increase. However, if they get that money to work properly for you, within a very short time, you would uh, you will see the benefit. So all those dilution fears are completely overblown. One good example is the initiate, right? The initiate, with the money they got, they will the company will turn around. The problem is people are still seeing the initiate as a very small company, and maybe that's just because they are new to this thing. But if the initiate knows what they are doing right now, they should be acting like a very, very big company. And even with all that dilution, what will happen is the value we go above the dilution effect, and then you begin to see more value in it, because sometimes you need money to do certain things. Once you get that money and you put it to use, then all of a sudden you find yourself finding the company you find the company is even more valuable, even with those shares that you've added. And then what's next? If you are going to expand and you need money again, you still go to the market and stuff like that. So it's not like they are giving you these shares for free. One other area that we probably didn't mention as being undervalued is the pharmaceutical space. Pharmaceutical space. So uh, it's just that we are just a country of hypocrites, right? Where in certain situations we want to be taken as global, and in other situations we want to be taken as Nigerian, right? So um, a little homework I will give to whoever is listening today is go and check the value of pharmaceutical companies and how much they contribute to the indices in America, and compare it to what is happening in Nigeria. Even within Nigeria, compare how much the pharmaceutical industries contribute to the market cap of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. So again, that is an area where we haven't experienced anything yet. Forget that fixing has run from maybe 2 naira, maybe like 3 years, 4 years ago, to over 100 naira. But ask yourself, do we have the wherewithal? Do we really have the kind of pharmaceutical services that we have, that we desire? Where do you see these pharmaceutical companies in 10 years' time? We are seeing a situation where um, industries here in the West have peaked, so to speak. They've reached saturation points. They're always looking for new ideas to develop and all that. Truth of the matter is, a lot of those new ideas will come from the developing world. See what China has done for themselves. China has China went into self-development program, and that is what has catapulted China to where it is today. Okay? Look at Nigeria. Malaria is one of the biggest problems in Nigeria. If Nigerians are waiting for the white folks to come and help them develop a malaria vaccine, then they are wasting their time. They are wasting their time. There are a lot of things because of our forest, because of our geography. There are a lot of hidden um cures that we have that we have not explored yet. Okay, the National Institute of Pharmaceutical Research Development is kind of moribund. So what you are seeing now is a couple of these companies, pharmaceutical companies that used to um, uh, be that used to be present in Nigeria, they had to leave when they had problems. Okay, and right now we have very few. There are a couple of them, not all of them. Not We have close to like maybe 100 pharmaceutical companies in Nigeria. I don't think more than about maybe seven or eight are listed. But what you are going to find is with time, those listed companies will start buying the unlisted ones for expansion, for growth, for visibility, for network, and then the time will come where um, people will see uh, how their profit translates. Okay, so uh, I live in a country where the population is probably like uh, 47 million people, vis-a-vis Nigeria, where the population is over 200 million. We don't really know what the real population is. We haven't conducted census for a very long time, so we come with all kinds of numbers. Whether they're accurate or not, we don't even know. So just imagine, like, a pharmaceutical company in Nigeria is able to develop a product that they're able to sell their product to 100 million Nigerians daily at $1. That's $100 million daily based on the population. If you're able to do your research, do your everything, and you're able to bring out a product such that you're able to sell to each Nigerian daily for $1, and you make 100 million revenue, you know what that can translate into. The point I'm trying to make here is, with our population, with the ways with the state of things in the country, We have a very long way to go in the pharmaceutical space. We have a very long way to go in medical tourism. So everybody goes to Turkey. It used to be India, but everybody is going to Turkey now to perform all kinds of surgeries. How is Nigeria going to be able to benefit from that? In the 60s, we heard that the Saudis used to come to the University of Ibadan for surgeries. But we've lost all that. We've lost all that attraction because most of our doctors, majority of our doctors have all gone abroad and they are helping other parts of the world to develop their healthcare system, while ours is in comatose. So the way we are, because we are pro-Nigerians, because we want Nigeria to work, there's always that belief that at the proper time, with the proper setting and proper government, we'll start to develop healthcare again to the point where people will be comfortable to come to Nigeria to do their surgeries. One simple thing that needs to be fixed for these healthcare companies to succeed in Nigeria is power. A minor fluctuation like this in the production of medication can disrupt the whole system and lead to substandard drugs. We need to start being sincere to ourselves. The whole idea of going to India to package chalk as medication is something we need to start asking. So, like sometimes we will blame the government. Those people who import fake drugs into the country should also be asking themselves questions because you don't know when your grandmother in the village is going to be the recipient of that fake drug you've imported into the country. So, you look at the country, you look at the quality of manpower we have, you realize that there are sectors where if you begin to do your investment now and development comes to meet your investment, you are just on the, you just like, you won't have to do anything for the rest of your life. And even if you are not the one getting those benefits, if those benefits accrue to your grandchildren, to your children, I mean, you'll be happy. A lot of us grew up with our parents bequeathing us with good education. That's the only thing they left to us. They didn't give you any money. I've given you good education. Go and use your education to fight for yourself. But you know what? There's nothing wrong when you have good education and a little bit of something to get you started. Dangote will not tell you, Tony, sorry, Sir Tony, find space for my daughter in your bank. Oh." No way, because they've given them the best education and they will give them something to start up. So the point I'm making is there are areas that are just like dead. So ask this question again. You look at Lagos as it is right now. How do you think Lagos will be in like 10 to 15 years' time? Will it will it remain the way it is right now? Will this flood continue to be a problem in Lagos in 10, 15 years' time? If not, if people are going to provide solutions, which people are going to provide those solutions? Will Lagos continue to be a dirty city where people have no regard for their health and stuff like that? So there's always going to be development. And as an investor, those are the things you look at. The biggest mistake you ever make as an investor is write off Nigeria. Yeah, because there's great hope. We just need the right people at the right places, and you will see things moving. So the pharmaceutical sector is another area. where people, all the healthcare sector generally, it's another area where people need to start paying attention. And yeah, that's all I have to say there.
Okay. Um, let me. I think is it my own network? Let me check once more. I can't hear Charles again.
You can't hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now. Can you hear me, Charles?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, great. Um, so let me just take some of the questions so that we don't lose touch. Some you've answered. So, Christopher Debanjo, we've talked about stocks that are great for the long term. The pharmaceutical space in Nigeria is great for anything we say here. Most likely covered the Greenticker platforms. I always tell people go and follow all Greenticker platforms. I think I can say in all humility that we are one of the few platforms in Nigeria that at least every day there's content somewhere. It's every day there's content. Monday to Friday, you can be sure there's content on YouTube, on Facebook, on Rumble, um, and we go in depth. We might see us breaking down a company in a pre-market video or a midday video, depending on what's trending. So you need to go and follow all critical platforms. I mean, this morning, some people asking questions about insurance. We covered there's a Spotify episode on ICO insurance. There's a Spotify episode, I think, on linkage insurance. There's a Spotify episode on Honeywell Flat. So we covered a lot of these things, but I think people maybe we are not doing a good job of publicizing it. Go and follow all green ticker platforms. All green ticker platforms. If you are not on Telegram, go and join the Telegram group. Senko is almost every Sunday. Senko will spend at least 1 hour, 2 hours teaching. Not we don't just say when we say go and buy this or buy that. It's based on research. We are not telling you because it's trending. We are not telling you because we do. If you refer 10 people, you get no. We don't just throw numbers. We are backing what we say either by technical analysis or fundamental analysis or sometimes both. So go and follow all platforms. I see 86 people here. I want to believe that the 86 people are here. At least 70% of them are not following on audio platforms. Go and follow on Spotify. Go and follow Apple Podcast. It's free. I don't know about Apple. I'm not an Apple person. I don't use iPhone. But I know that for Spotify, it's free. Spotify does not charge you to listen to podcast. Spotify does not have adverts on podcast. We are not music. You go and listen to it, and it's short, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. All this content is there. So there's a question on the NGX group. Does the NGX group has potential? Yes, the NGX group has potential. I mean, look at the exchange. The question you ask yourself, how many stock exchanges do you have in Nigeria? Maybe 3, 4. 3, 4 exchanges. What are the most buoyant exchanges? It's the NGX and FMDQ. FMDQ is, like say, is privately held or closely held by the financial community. So what is left for you as an everyday person is in the Nigerian stock market. Now, is it a right time to buy the market, NGX group? I've not looked at technical analysis this week. Maybe that today or some other time, or maybe even next week. Keep an eye also on this platform on Tuesday. I think Tuesday is a public holiday. Who knows? We could decide to show up here. We could decide to show up on Twitter. So keep an eye. So the NGS group is a great firm. I just can't say if it's a good price. I don't have. I've not looked at the chart in the last couple of days. Maybe Senko can opine on that. Stocks that will benefit directly or indirectly from the Dangote IPO refinery. It's a bit hard to say. At best, what one can say is, well, maybe tip, but beyond that, it's hard to say. But I think people should take tip, divorce tip from the Dangote refinery. Tip has services in Uganda. Um, Tip has services. In fact, Tip doesn't even have right now. Tip doesn't do much work with the Dangote refinery. So Tip, exclusive of the Dangote refinery, they're doing quite well. If they're able to see business with the refinery, good. Um, so Japan Gold, there's nothing to analyze in Japan Gold except maybe on the basis of technical analysis. I think that Japan Gold is the weakest of the players in that space. I know Japan Gold had their AGM. Um, we'll be discussing the AGM sometime tomorrow.
Onome, I have something to say to people that always ask about Japan Good. Tell their management, can you show us the vault of gold? Let us see. Because if you have vault of gold, you can't be trading at this price. If you have gold, physical gold, that's a dead company. Anybody that is just saying Japan Gold, okay, where is the gold paint? We like part of the world. Japan Gold.
Well, Senko, there's nothing. I mean, like, uh, let's leave it at uh, let the management. If you are a shareholder in Japan, uh, I think you have to start demanding more information from the company as to what their plans, what they want to do is. So again, you can impress on them to come to our platform or any other platform to tell the world what they are doing. The thing I will tell you is I want you to go and look at the market cap of Japan Gold and then just Google um, the cost of gold exploration. Okay, the gold exploring, digging for gold, mining is very very expensive. Okay, those are very very expensive ventures, and chances are you might sink in $100 million, $200 million into trying to uh, uh, explore for this thing, and you come out with nothing, and that is zero. Nothing happens there. So, secondly, before you invest in a company like this, when we say do research, this is exactly what we mean. Do you have the geological map of Nigeria? Do you have where we have gold deposits in Nigeria? And it's not just having gold deposits, it's having, at the end of the day, by the time you do your geology, if you have been following us on spaces, there was a day a geologist came to our space and broke everything down. If you sell the whole of Japan right now based on their market capitalization, they won't be able to do any kind of exploration for gold. You remember when northern Nigeria, as a policy, wanted to go for oil exploration just because they thought the southern Nigerians were just being unreasonable about the uh, derivation formula, even though the northerners own all our oil blocks in the south, which again, you begin to question the kind of entity we are as a people. When we start talking now, they'll say we are bringing politics, but again, there's no way we divorce politics from the economic situation in your country. The reason why we are where we are right now is because of politics. You get the right people in the right places, you will see Nigeria boom. So you have to ask yourself, do you have the geological map of Nigeria? Where are the minerals located in Nigeria? Who are the people exploring at the moment? How many gold companies do we have? What kind of mining are they doing? If it comes to mining, um, and you want to know uh, uh, what is really going on in this space, our African neighbors, Ghana, are very well advanced. He- Ghana used to be called Gold Coast. So that was their major source of revenue. And it still is. They've added cocoa and the rest. So go and see how much exploration cost. And then look at Japan and ask yourself, because Japan transitioned from a maritime organization into gold mining. And so we looked at the fact that the government too, based on policies, we are doing something different, okay? Because they realized just depending on oil is not going to take us anywhere. So they started diversifying it into other areas where we could generate revenue, right? And it's not like they are not making money from this gold exploration, rare earth metals like lithium, titanium, copper, tin. They are making money already. The problem is those money are largely unaccounted for. Sometimes people keep asking, how come that with so much embezzlement, with so much corruption, Nigeria never goes broke? Because there are a lot of areas, there are a lot of monies that Nigeria makes that is not accounted for. So when you see this lavish lifestyle and the money is still there, that is the reason why. So where is the gold deposit that Chapal is really exploring? Is it in Lagos? Is it in Ogun? Where go and see, try and Google Nigeria geological map and see. Do you know we have gold in Cross River? So there are a lot of things that people do not know. And we looked at that sector. We noticed that the government is beginning to want to invest in that sector, especially the rare earth metals like lithium, right? Which is powering the world right now in terms of chips and all that stuff. And then we noticed a trend. We noticed a trend. UBA wants to go into mining, but UBA is not going to go into mining directly. They are going to use their investment banking, UBA capital to do that mining. And if you listened to the UBA capital AGM, which to me has been the best AGM that has been organized by any company, if you haven't watched it, if you haven't seen it, go and look for it on YouTube and watch that presentation from beginning to end. They made mention of the fact that they are going into that area, okay? Because you have to move with the world. You have to be a global player, not a Nigerian player where, when our parents gave birth to us, like my name is Charles, my mother put Mr. Charles as my name, or Sir Charles, whatever. You have to be global, not only in that respect. So we noticed there's a lot of homework being done around that uh, uh, exploration of minerals right now, and gave we said, okay, uh, exploring is very very expensive. Rather than invest in an exploration company, I will invest in a company that finances exploration. And what that means is if you're, let's say, on a mere exploration company for gold, you want to do any kind of exploration, you need $50 million. You come to Charles Financing Company. I will give you the money to do that financing at a rate. If you look at a rate, you'll be paying the money back If you go and do your exploration and you hit zero, you will still pay that money back. If you hit something, then you could pay the money back by way of equity. So instead of paying the $50 million back to me, you could give me 25 percent stake in that gold, lithium, or whatever that you've hit. But it's relatively new. And for those who probably plugged into the company we were talking about, they're probably down now and they are crying. And I laugh at them. I laugh because by the time work starts in earnest and they tell you they have financed the company and the company has, all you need in those companies is for them to hit one. It's like investing. You can have like 10 losers. One winner will cover everything in your portfolio. Just picking one winner will cover everything in your portfolio. It's a relatively new area. It's an area everybody is going into. Everybody is trying to go into right now. People are rebranding. People are setting up in other African countries to be able to take advantage of that. But you need to see the bigger picture. You start telling me about balance sheet of a company that has cleaned its balance sheet, a company that another company has invested more than what they had in negative equity that is now positive. But people cannot see beyond their nose. We keep saying this, and it's not trying to insult anybody or disrespect anybody. But again, if you do not understand and you don't want to be part of it, by all means, just look at other places. But and again, when we make this recommendation, we are not asking you to go and put your whole portfolio. No, because that could just be the thing that will turn your portfolio around. How much are all these junior miners? Just imagine they hit something. You think any of those companies will sell for less than $1? Because once they hit something, and foreign investors are beginning to see that there is mining taking place. The mining is very well organized. You cannot go into that country without going through these companies. The foreign companies will go through. They will now want to buy into this company. We've had situations where Elon Musk could just buy one company, and the company will shoot by like 700%. But like we say these things, but people do not understand. And I say, no problem. If you don't understand and you don't want to be part of what we are doing, nobody is forcing you. But we'll keep giving our information to the best of our knowledge. So you have with Japan, it's up to them. They have to come out. Shareholders have to demand. Don't buy and be hoping. No, that buy and hope is not. When you see a company, you look at the company. You ask questions. Where is the gold deposit? Have you confirmed this gold deposit? How much will it take for them to explore this gold? And why gold? How much is gold contributing right now to uh, when you say real, when you are talking of rare earth metals, what do you do with gold? You understand? Compared to what do you do with lithium? What do you do with tin? What do you do with copper? These are the questions you should be asking. They raised money, the money within it didn't do anything for them. So demand that these companies come out with a clear statement. Come talk to your shareholders, not your AGM where you pre-select people. Come out and talk to your shareholders, like people who have invested in your company, so that you can ask all your questions. But before you on your own, go and do your homework. Homework assignment is: do you have the geological map of Nigeria? Where are the deposits of minerals in Nigeria? What's that unique mineral that Nigeria has that if the world finds out that we have it, Nigeria becomes a hot cake? I made a statement the last time on Space that these foreign countries, they are not interested in your well-being. They are not interested in your peace. They don't care whether you kill each other or not. The only reason they will come into your country to make any kind of intervention is when there's something for them. If there's nothing for them, they will not intervene. They will let you people kill yourself. So when you see foreign interest, when you see foreign government, when they start attacking, they don't care whether Christians are killing Muslims or they don't care. Because at the end of the day, the same people who kill Muslims, kill Christians, they carry money from Nigeria, they go and deposit in their bank and they accept this money. The same people who are creating all the problems, they go to school in America, their children are there, you admit them. The same people, their kids will come to America, Canada, UK, wherever they go to, and they buy their houses cash. Why people are using 30 years to pay mortgage, they'll buy the house one time. When they released the list of real estate owners in the UK, are you people not shocked? Did they, when the money was being paid, did they ask where the money was coming? They don't care. So if you think America is fighting Nigeria because Christians are killing Muslims, you are mistaken. There's something they want. And the only way you can get a pie of that is connecting to companies who will have a small pie of what they are looking at. So what will make these statements sometimes, and we come and we tell you, and it becomes laughing stock for certain people. We laugh at you too. If you laugh at us, we laugh at you. Aura for aura. But that is the true situations of things. Nobody is coming to Nigeria to save you. Nope. If you don't save yourself, they are not interested. If I come in here, what do I have to gain? See the port agreement we went to do with UK, right? You now ask yourself, who are going to benefit from that? You begin to ask questions. CI leasing, Japan, I say Japan, CI leasing, uh, fertilizers, construction companies. Those are companies that will benefit from such arrangement, even though the arrangement is opaque. It's when you're a Rome, you behave like a Roman. Get your pie of the Jews, and whatever happens, happens. So we need to tell people, we need to tell companies to come out. We are still hoping that the NGX will honor the invitation we sent to them. If you have not retweeted that message, please go and retweet the message. Let's get the NGS to come to our platform and let us settle some simple issues once and for all. There are some simple things. I'm sure when they come to that platform, there are things we will settle once and for all. There will not be problems again. Because I think sometimes we look at the market, we look at that NGS, and I think there's too much bureaucracy. And if they allow people to work the way they are supposed to work, things will move a little bit smoother. Are we going to experience sell-off in the coming week? Well, it's going to be sideways for a very long time. It's going to be sideways for a very long time. Because you are, again, ask yourself, what is the catalyst? What is going to make this market go up right now? Nothing. The fear, the election uncertainty will pervade the air for a very long time. If we had, if the Oshun election has been peaceful, then people will say, okay, Nigeria is changing. But nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. I heard 30 people died in that election, and that does not inspire confidence. So people who have money now, they are not putting any money into the market. They are just watching and rotating, and just maybe for those. If you look at MTN, there's been such a big sell-off. Somebody has just been selling MTN off. Not because he probably wants to conserve his money. He's probably made a lot of profit already. And then people are getting these shares at a discount, at a bargain right now. So from now, even if FTSE Russell comes in, it's not really going to change much, because I think that would have been priced in already. And then the back and forth, we are going to delay, we are going to review and all that. is delaying it. And up till now, the NGS have not informed us of the outcome of the meeting they had with FTSE Russell, because that would really have helped. They haven't come out. Are they coming? Have you been able to resolve the issue? My answer is no. And that's why when the NGS president went to meet the president, he was asking to relook into the tax reform. So probably when they went to meet FTSE and they asked, my friend, we were going to come in, but we just heard about these new tax reforms from your government. Uh, we found it very attractive when we wanted to come in, but that tax thing, is there anything you can do? And that's why he's asking the president to relook into it. And that's one area that really pissed all of us off, because we were screaming and shouting to get the NGS to do something about it when it was still not law, but nothing was done. It's not quite up to 6 months now. You're going back to the president to ask him, like, can you relook into it? What were you doing prior to when it was passed? Everybody wants to be in the good book of the president. That's the problem. So that's just the way we see the market. And if you are thinking of, the sell-off is always in the big cap, because they are liquid. Do you understand? It's because they are liquid. It's easy to sell your MTN. It's easy to sell your GTB. It's easy to sell your Zenith than it is for other equities. So when you see the sell-off most in those very solid fundamentals, it's because that's the one they can sell off easily. The other ones, it's like good luck trying to sell large quantities of Transcorp Hotel or large quantities of Geregu. Good luck. It will never happen because they are not liquid enough. We've never really had proper price discoveries for those equities. So yes, you can see. So what you are seeing right now is people just packing their money and watching. So yes, it's going to this. I won't call it sell off. I would say this sideways movement you are seeing every day, 0.1%, 0.2, maybe one person will want to manipulate stock price, or there's a share ownership struggle, and you will see one stock just shoot up above and beyond its fundamentals. It's as the way it's shooting up. When the person has finished buying what he wants to buy, that is how it will come back to where they started that fight. So just be guided in your investment decisions. That's all I will tell you. Right? Yes. Onome, go ahead, my brother. Is Nazar here?
All right. No, Nazar is not here, but I have sent the link to Nazar, so maybe she's tied up, or maybe she has not seen the link because I'm yet to get.
Okay, because I thought I sent the link to her directly again. So I sent it to her
So,
directly.
Pascal, let me start with your question. I will say, Pascal, go and follow Greenticker Spotify. Go and follow Greenticker Tales on Spotify. I will paste the link in a bit on the comment section. We discussed consolidated hallmark H1 2026 last week or last 2 weeks. If you check the company analysis playlist on YouTube here, we also discussed some insurance companies. Go and check those things out. Nobody can tell you how these insurance companies would move post recapitalization, especially because mutual benefits and consolidated hallmark did not raise capital to meet the new requirements. So it's what you should be looking at is their H1 numbers. We are yet to look at H1 numbers for mutual benefits. Keep an eye on Spotify. It could be out this evening, it could be out tomorrow morning, it could be out Tuesday. Go and follow Greenticker on Spotify. You will have more earnings coverage on Spotify than any other platform, simply because we are limited by the number of videos we can push out in a day. We are the only platform that does pre-market videos in the morning, midday videos, and then market close. Nobody else is doing that. You can have, so I would say go and follow all platforms. Unfortunately, we don't have an earnings calendar. The absence of an earnings calendar is it is only when the team has time that you can go through these companies. A lot of companies had great results that we are only just looking at. Abdul Rashid, your question is you don't have much units of Aradel and you have a stock that are willing to buy more. Should you sell your Aradel to focus on CMFC? I don't see why you want to do that. They are both great companies. I don't know how much you earn or how much you invest every month, but even if you are assuming you are doing a 20, 50, 100,000 a month, there's no hurry in selling any Aradel. Whatever amount you can afford to invest monthly, weekly, daily, quarterly, whenever, CMFC is still there. So it's no point selling your Aradel.
No, man,
Um,
sorry to disturb you. Naza says she's in the backstage.
okay, I would let me see. I would add Nazar now, and okay, I have added Nazar.
Okay, nice.
So
I
I'm
think
going
I
to.
think people are tired of seeing strong faces. So let us see Naza's smiling face. Maybe a lot more people will come in here. Because
Yes,
I was getting
that's true.
comments that it's only Nazar that is still smiling despite all the bloodshedding that our portfolio is doing. So I don't know what her magic is for picking her portfolio. So welcome, Nazar. Good to see you.
Thank you very much. I've been here since the space started. I didn't know that no one can hear me. So
Okay, we can hear you now. So what story do you have for us today?
good to see you guys. What I have before then, I wanted to ask you a follow-up question when you were talking about the insurance is and also following the money. Now, my question is this: when we're talking about following the money, what do you think about the accumulation that has been going on FCG Insure? They've done about over 9 billion units for the past 3 months now.
Follow the money. Simple as that. There's something happening there that has not been disclosed to the public. When look, I tell you something. Prior to the uh, president assenting to the uh, 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 new insurance act, we noticed some movement in certain stocks. So we noticed that there wasn't money coming into the insurance space that time, but we noticed that within a space of 2 weeks, 2 billion had gone into that stock, and it automatically set up our agent, and it told us that there's something happening there. And the thing went on a mad run. The insurance companies went on a mad run like August of last year, and then they retracted a bit, and then the news of recapitalization came in, and we have not seen the effect of this recapitalization yet. But you are very correct. FTG Insure um, is a company we should watch. We don't know who the new investors are. We don't know what they are planning, but the amount of money that has gone into that space in this short period of time calls for more investigation. The problem with FTG is uh, they came back from suspension after a long time, after like maybe 5 year absence. There was nothing happening. We didn't get any gist from them, and then they were able to like get put their ads together, met regulatory filing, and they started trading again. And after that, they did share split, share reconstruction, and what we've noticed is in the last few weeks, so much money has been flowing into that entity. I don't know. Because of that long absence from trading, attention was kind of diverted away from them, and we didn't know what was happening. And so it's difficult to tell you. And a lot of people stop following because people just give up. Another example is like Wapik. Okay, Wapik used to be one of the top insurance companies. if you go and check the results of Wapik, very, very solid insurance company. But they had made up their mind that they were going to delist and pay shareholders. Was it 67 kobo or 76 kobo? And then they came to that conclusion. But for a very long time, it kept trading and kept trading and kept trading. And because they said they were going to delist, what now happened was people lost interest. I mean, if you are going to delist at 76 kobo and you're still trading, what's the point? And then people lost focus of the results they were turning out. Go and check Wapik's result, one of the neatest insurance companies. But like, because of the fact that they said we're going to delist at that price, and if after that statement, up to like maybe 7 years after, 8 years after, they are still trading, people are not really paying attention to them. So that is what must have happened to FTG Insure. And they've come back. People have lost interest. People who had it immediately the team did that mad run. They sold off, and they were thanking God I'm out of this insurance company. But there's something happening in the insurance space. We watch, we wait, and we observe. We see what goes on. That's all I would say. But there's something definitely going on, and they won't tell you anything now. If you try, when you see a company doing this kind of stuff, and you tell them to come and give more explanation, they won't tell you anything. They're not interested in everybody getting the pie right now. The chief protagonist will go there, get as much as they want, and later they would uh, they would do whatever they want to do. But yeah, that's a very good observation. Something is going on there, but we don't know. We don't know, Nazar.
Okay, thank you very much. Another thing I wanted to mention, when you talked about the waste management space, we are referring to TIP. When I look at other waste management stocks listed on the New York Stock Exchange and the kind of things they do, and then I look back at home, I see so much gap, and then I see so much gap, and I think it's a sector we should keep an eye on. I mean, the initiates, they have first mover advantage. Hopefully, they are able to tap into those gap. But for waste management, I think it's a very interesting sector to keep an eye on. Just like you said, like the mining sector and some of these sectors that are not doing anything right now.
Yeah, most definitely. People, and that's why I'm asking people to just be patient and focus on the long run. Some of the investment you are doing now is you are just investing with money you don't need for now. And if you are doing like for those long-term investment that you are probably taking a chance, you can be doing it on a monthly basis. But once they pan out, once like Lagos cannot continue to be the way it is. Waste management, again, that's an area we've not started. We don't even have, we haven't gotten to that point where we will use waste to say waste is generating 1% of the country's national grid. We haven't gotten to that level yet. We are going to get there. So what will happen is immediately these foreign companies see that a local company is making progress, the either the foreign company or even the local company can say, guys, we just got this from the government. We want to do this. We want to tap in on your expertise and see what we can do. And then they now start negotiating. And the next you hear, oh, waste management, USA has bought 10% of the initiative. Do you know what that will do? Do you know what that will do to that stock? And it's not like Initiate is the only waste management company, but it's the only one we can invest in right now, right? And then what will happen is once they see that they are doing well, others will want to list. And so this whole idea of that's why the whole idea of wanting to force people to list is not my thing. Make your exchange attractive, give them the reason to list, and these people will come and list. That's it. Not just begging the president to get an NPC in Dorama and all that. The question is, what effort have you made on your own to make sure that this company comes to list? There are better companies like there's Coleman Cable Company in Lagos. There are a lot of good companies in Lagos. How come they are not listed on the NGX? So those are just the issues. So people just need to look at things from a long term perspective. The country is going to be great. Lagos of 10 years ago is different from Lagos of now, and will be different from Lagos of 10 years if you time travel. So just keep your eyes on the long term returns and not just immediate returns. If you buy and it goes down, you keep buying more because the day the market catches up with what is going on, the race will be very swift. The race to the top. Thank you. Universal insurance. Well, universal insurance, they need to sort out their issues because for if every other insurance company were able to meet their capitalization, I remember people were laughing at uh, sovereign insurance and Regency, and they probably thought that those two companies will not meet up because the original list was 43, and then they now increased it to 50, and up to now, Universal raised money, but I don't know what they did. There's something they didn't do properly. Of every and it's like the money is there. It's not like the money is not. They have the money, but they have not done proper filing. There are other things they have not met that is creating problem. And again, approving you is not just meeting capitalizations. There are other things you need to meet that they have not met yet. And again, as much as we like insurance companies, there are certain insurance companies we never really talk about. People keep asking, oh, what of Veritas? What of Sunu? What of Prestige? Like sometimes we can't follow everything. Once we start following an insurance company, there's a reason why we follow them. There are certain things that we would have seen that made us follow them and all that stuff. We can't follow all of them. So Universal wasn't one of those we really, really followed and all that stuff. Sunu, Veritas, we've never really followed all those ones. Even this FTG, we've not. It's just that this of late we've been noticing so much inflow of capital into it, and you know, um, something is happening there. We don't know, but for them to have come out of failing to meet regulatory filing, for them to have come out from not being in the NGS for 7 years, and all of a sudden they come in and they are able to meet capitalization, it shows you that they are doing the right things. There are some new owners who are probably uh, consolidating their positions there, and eventually we'll get to find out. The disclosure the disclosure policy in the NGS is very, very weak. We saw all the off-market deals that we publish from time to time, and you never know who's buying, you never know who is selling, and all that stuff. Uh, like I said, we pray that the NGS come to our platform, and these are some of the questions we'll be asking them, and we'll be asking for them to see if they can make changes. Thank you.
Okay, just to take you on that, talking about not FTD, Universal Insurance. I know there was a deal they were in the process with someone. I mean, we're looking forward to that deal happening so that they will be able to meet the capture requirements. But it seems it fell through. Now, my question is there any possible scenario, is there any scenario where you think that maybe they will sort out this on the side with the regulators and then get back? Is that a possibility?
All things being equal, they should be able to sort it out. Um, we heard there was a very large, very hard cap on this capitalization thing by June 30th. If you don't, or by July 31st, if you don't meet it, that's it. But we have seen situations where they say they are still considering some other insurance companies, right? So, and then there are some insurance companies right now like Staco, which Africa Alliance. Those are two insurance companies that have not made regulatory filing, but they've been communicating with shareholders and NGS about their plans, to get meet up with regulatory filings, still waiting for NICOM to approve their result. And then they will now think about how to um, how to uh, raise capital to meet the to meet the new market capitalization. So I think there are still discussions that are going on. It's just again, uh, what this shows you is we need a room for proper communication. We just don't have it. Communication is a big problem in Nigeria. We don't know how to communicate, and people interpret communications differently, and it's something we need to work on. And when we talk about investors relations, public relations, people do not understand. Companies do not even pay attention to what these things are, but they are very, very important in the scheme of things. And eventually that time will come where um, uh, when you make one statement, it will just take your company down. Like there are a couple of things. Like okay, let me draw an example from the incident that played out between Mr. Elumelu and that young girl, right? So uh, there's nothing that will convince me that that girl, no matter the kind of loud or whatever she takes, will go out in a setting like that and call Mr. Elumelu Tony. What was playing out there was the way they have been taught in school. They have been taught in their training. They have been taught in the corporate world, even in UBA, first name. Okay? And there was nothing wrong with Tony saying, uh, uh, I don't like being addressed as Tony. Call me Tony, call me TOE, call me chairman. But where he goofed was when he said, I don't do those Oyibo thing, right? That statement, I don't do those Oyibo thing, was where he goofed. And for somebody who considers himself a global citizen, you don't like Oyibo things, but you wear tie, you wear socks, you wear suit every day, but you don't like Oyibo thing. Doesn't make any sense. And again, like I said, if when you make a statement like you're not cut out for this kind of Oyibo thing, if you were truly a global company that was on the world map, that day your stock will tank. It will go down. I know people are saying respect. Look, I like respect too, but I'm telling you, if it was not the training that was given to those people, no amount of weed that girl has taken will make that girl go there and address that Mr. Lumelo as Tony. It's the training. And if your last day as chairman, if you felt that was a way to, I mean, like if you just stop, don't call me Tony. But when you now then I don't like this Oyibo thing, I think that's where he just went down the drain. You don't like Oyibo thing, but you like to wear tie, you like to wear suit, you like to wear socks. It doesn't make any sense to me. You know, people can choose whatever they want to call them, but at the same, if I were that girl, I'll just that's be my last day. I'm just going to leave that thing because that thing is going to follow her wherever she goes. Okay, it's going to follow her wherever she goes, and she's going to pay for it in one manner or the other, either by compensating. If not, she's marked. People are saying it's nothing. They still had the conversation after that, but like you just messed up the girls, whatever, at the biggest stage, at probably the biggest stage of her career. So that's how I look at it. Anamsky, want to say something? Okay. Nazar, go ahead.
I think Onome is on a call.
Okay.
Okay, he's done with the call.
Okay.
Uh, Mr. Onome, you wanted to say something?
No, 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 no. I'm listening to you guys, but since I've on my mic, let me just take this question. There's someone asking, is there a reasonable prospect investing in academic press considering resumption of schools? To be honest with you, academic press is one of the weakest insurance publishing companies on the NGX. And also from my observation, first quarter for the publishing companies is usually a very poor quarter. You can check out their results, very bad. I think it's a first quarter issue. So, I mean, I don't think that companies want investing in. For more context, I covered go to Spotify. You can see the previous episodes I've done. I covered all the publishing firms, Academy, Learn, and University Press. I think Academy and University Press are the weakest of the companies in that space. Yeah. Then on the Tony Elumelu matter, I wasn't going to discuss this, so maybe I was listening to Charles discussing it. I think I will take it from a opposite direction. Whether you like Mr. Elumelu or you don't like him, one thing is that he's an extremely great guy. Um, when you look at the people he started banking with, many of them, some of them are no more. Some of them ran down the banks. So the fact that UBA is still standing well, it's not the most perfect of banks, it's not the most attractive, but I don't think anybody can call UBA a weak bank. It's an extremely solid bank. So one must give him kudos for that. But I put the blame, 70% of the blame, on the social media team. That clip shouldn't have come out in the first place. Not because of what he said, but the clip has taken away the significance of that event. That was the last, or one of the last official events that Mr. Illumin handled as chairman of UBA. Ilumelu served as MD of UBA. I think he had a cool off period, I'm not too sure. Then he crossed over as chairman, served for probably over 10 years, if I'm correct. Um, that should be what should be the focus of, but everybody is discussing Mr. Culture. You see, this whole rock star behavior, I think his social media and communications team, they are doing him a disservice. You are a retired banker, still active in oil and gas, active in hospitality. They're not interested in you commodity, you cheaping the guy. And we are seeing you coming in and out of private jets, taking photo shoots like that. They're showing us his shoes, his watch, his socks. Come on, man. This is one of the man is a living legend. Whether you like him, you don't like him. You should do better. That's not what we want to be seeing. Yes, you should do better. People just, you see, they may think they are doing the guy good, but you are not doing him any good. Can count the number of Nigerians publicly that are giving what he's giving through the Elumelu Foundation. I want to hear more about that. I don't want to be seeing pictures of him moving, moving like a rock star. That's not why we are here. You know. And at the end of the day, you see, one thing I've learned about life, I think I've been hustling for almost 20 years. I've worked formally for over 10 years. One thing I've learned about life is everybody makes mistakes. But you see, how you handle a mistake that someone has made. Again, I still blame the social media people. If you want to be addressed as Mr. Lumelu, if you felt he didn't address you, there's nothing wrong with that. But that shouldn't, that alone. And that's why you see some of these things, not everything has to be posted online. Everything has to be online. I mean, with due respect, in Greenticker Tales, there will never be a day we are going to be posting Greenticker Tales strategy session online. It's not happening ever. You don't do that. Nobody does that. So I think people got carried away. Everybody made mistakes. Precons made mistakes. Young lady made a mistake, or maybe Mr. Edumelu made a mistake as well. I hope all of them they all learn from it. He's a global citizen. It's not about so Igbo culture or not culture. You're a global citizen, sir. You don't have to say certain things. Um, Donald Trump will not come and tell you about culture. The Chinese will not tell you. Chinese don't discuss their culture. They practice the culture and you see it. They don't tell you this. Nobody's telling you that. You go to China, you go to Japan, you see the culture. So it's an unfortunate thing for me because everybody just forgot about the significance of that event. And look at what we're discussing. So I hope they all learn from it. And Nigerians should also please leave that girl in peace because some apropos people have gone to go and be looking for our social media handle. Please, 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 please. I hope none of them are on this call. If you're on this call, please do better. Ask young ladies how many years of working experience does she have? I don't think it's more than 4, 5. So why are you pounding her? What's the point? It's no big deal. The man said I want to be called Mr. or whatever way you want to address him. Address him. End of story. But it didn't have to be online. You don't need to have all those things online. So people should be more circumspect. As my view on the topic, I won't get to discuss it. In fact, we're not going to discuss it as a team on Sunday. So blessed are those that join this live. We'll be discussing this with more than giving mileage to the point that people think we are anti-Elumelu. We are not anti-Elumelu. I've held UBA shares for over 15 years. Even if UBA drops by 200%, it's not it's still above my entry price, so I don't benefit from the company's share price tanking. None of us benefits from UBA declining. There's no benefit. We don't rejoice when company prices decline, and that's why we're actually doing this live stream to let people know that look, stay focused. Don't worry about what's happening. Understand fundamentals. Stay focused. Stay focused. Don't forget about the ups and downs in the market. So with money, nobody likes to lose money. This is real life matters, as Erica would say it. If you know Erica, you know this real life matters. It's money. So we are not happy. We don't derive joy when people are losing money, and that's why we take our time on what we are saying. There was a video I did a couple of weeks ago. It took me about 12 hours. Myself, Senko, and Charles, we had to put heads together. We were going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So anything we do, we take it with all seriousness. We are not, don't do clickbait. We are not looking for paparazzi or influencing gigs. That's not why we do what we do. We take anything we do with all seriousness. So that's how I see it. There's a question considering the economic rates and inflation rates. Can we say the naira is stable, or should we expect some recession? I think it's normal that as elections go by, I don't know where the dollars come from. Dollars some might appear, so you might see some slight pressure on the exchange rate, but it's not a big deal. Exchange rate is I don't know about 1.4, 1.380 something. Are good, even if you move from 1.318 to 1.380, or is it whatever it is, think this 1.380 to maybe 1.4, 1,001, 1,005. We're in a good zone. It's not a big deal. So I'm not worried about the exchange rate. The biggest issue we have really is just peace in the elections. It's not exchange. Exchange rate is not. Exchange rate will be fine. Crude, as long as crude oil stays where it is, and I think crude oil will be good. Not too bothered by the exchange rates. You have high crude oil prices, fairly high interest rates. There'll be, the exchange rate is not supposed to be static. What people want to see is exchange rates, and people that do planning. When people plan at the beginning of the year, they say exchange rate is 1,004 plus or minus 10%. That's how people plan. So as long as you are dancing between plus or minus 10% in a year, most people are good. But when you start to dance away from that, there's pressure. When you wake up in the morning, I always tell people that the day you know that there's FX issues is when your bank will tell you that this is your card limit. All of a sudden, they reduce your card limit, they send you an email. That's when you know that there's exchange rate pressure. So we are in a good space with the exchange rate. Um, I don't think there's a problem with the exchange rate. Um, will Atiku bring back subsidy? I don't know. Let's cross that bridge. We get there. If Atiku becomes president, we would listen to what he and his economic team have to say. So till then, we see it. If anybody brings back subsidy, we react. We cannot preempt what will happen. We react to what happens. Of course, internally as a team, we have a look at our own personal finances. We have our own scenario planning, but that's not what we can publicize here because it's early days yet. It's too early. I'm more interested in having a peaceful election. I really don't care who wins elections. I want peace. Whoever wins the elections, the student of statistics, you have 3, 4 people contesting an election. One person must win. 2 people cannot win. One person wins. Whoever wins the elections, we deal with who wins it. If Bat comes back for a second term, we deal with it. If Obi wins the election, we deal with it. If Atiku wins the election, we deal with it. If former SUG president Showore wins the election, we deal with it. So JDI Ajayi have nothing to say about McNichols. I've covered McNichols before. I think we've done excellent. I mean, I think people don't rate us as a team. It's quite unfortunate. We've done a great job when it comes to McNichols. That's the truth. People don't rate us. I'm a Jay-Z fan, and there was an album Jay-Z did, Fade to Black. I think one of these days as a team, maybe we should just decide to fade. We should take a 1 month break and say, you know what, let's go rest. We tried. I mean, I've done over 300 videos this year. I've lost count. I'm sure I've done over 300 videos this year. I don't know how many months I've done, but I can say that from January 1st to date, we've had probably at least 5, 6 videos on Greenticker platforms every week. So multiply 6 times 4, 24. 24 times how many months we are in? Probably almost 200. So we've covered McNichols. We discussed McNichols early in the week. We did a podcast episode on McNichols. So JDI Ajayi, please go and watch. Follow our platforms. So when we keep saying this, people just feel it's not about money. Let me be blunt, since I have the mic, it's not about money. I don't make money from this. Nazar doesn't make money. I covered social media for 3 years. I know Nazar spends more on data than myself because I know it takes more data to cover it, to put one video on TikTok or Instagram. It takes more data. He's not paid. So when we say follow, it's not.
Nobody's paid, man. Nobody's paid.
It's not the small change from YouTube and TikTok. TikTok not they make money. Facebook not they make money.
No, they
Money
think
that-
no, Onome, they think maybe
we don't make money.
Nobody's
money.
In fact,
social media.
to be candid with you, I've actually lost money because of Greenticker. Because there were things I could do to make money, but I can't do those things I do Greenticker. So I have to
It's the
stop them.
stories that we don't tell them. It's the stories that
I've
we
lost
don't tell them.
money because if I wanted to make money, I would just say, Seco, let's do one seminar, let's charge 100,000. At least we have goodwill. If we charge 100,000, 50 people, that's 5 million. All of us will share 1 million naira. But how can 1 million naira do? How much is data in a year? 1 million naira cannot even maintain data because we are using Nigeria is a dysfunctional country. As I'm on this live, I'm running MTN 5G, I'm running Glo, I'm running Airtel, so that when the live goes, you know, say, this guy they started the game. So we don't make money from this. It's actually that. So we've covered McNichols. I have nothing to say about McNichols. We've covered it. Check the platforms. We'll cover McNichols sometime in pre-market. Cover McNichols sometime now. this week. Yeah, I think this week we've covered Magnico severally, so I don't have anything to say. AVA Capital is trading over two times book value, I believe. Technical analysis, I don't know. Maybe Senko can talk about it, but from what I'm seeing on TradingView,
That company will create another lower low. I don't understand anybody that is buying that company. I mean, for real, like again, what are you buying
what I'm
in an
seeing
I?
on TradingView,
Sorry,
uh,
only.
um,
Oh, my network.
the as it's so
Your
Echo, we can
network,
hear you.
Sanko, your network
Oh,
is good. Stop complaining about your network.
So
hello.
you know,
Avacap. For Avacap,
Oh, okay.
Avacap.
I wanted to just talk about Eva Cup. Like, first thing first. I mean, the management are exiting. Like, I don't know how on earth some persons like will just see key persons. Like, I mean, selling, maybe taking profits. I mean, definitely taking profits. Selling down their position and thinking that the company is, I mean, trading at a ridiculous price to earnings ratio. And if you look at the technicals is showing, I just don't want to pull the charts. The technical is showing that it's going to continue to downtrend. So, I mean, the company needs more data on the charts before we can now make any decision on whether to buy. If I tell you that there's a support, that means I've lied, because that's not technical analysis. This company just started trading in how many? They just got listed see last month. Was it not last month or no? May correct me if I'm wrong. Was it not last month? I mean, you want to just less than 22 days of candles that would have been formed, and maybe scanty candles. So definitely I just stick to the weekly candles. And this company, it just, I can't do anything on the company until after 3 to 4 months before we
Uh,
can now have a good data on AVA Capital. So anybody that is asking, you on your own if you buy that company, and anything that you see, you should take it like that.
Anyways, for them, if there's anything, we must give them kudos, because if we look at all the listing by introduction that has been done in this country, I think they've had the most equitable, so to speak, because there's no scarcity of shares. Uh, People were able to buy. So it was a drastic improvement from what we had uh, when compared to Zichis, when compared to Mikio. So we'll give that to them. However, it could be because they know the only reason why it was readily available was because within themselves they knew that it was grossly overpriced. And if you've read your investment books, where you will always be told never take part in IPOs, um, because at the end of the day, those people who bought in at the seed stage, the IPO stage is just an opportunity for them to sell off, and then the price we get to is proper discovery. Uh, I don't know if I can say that for other IPOs. I see a lot of people are pumped up for the Dangote Refinery IPO. Again, we have to watch and see. I know there's that frenzy, there's that craziness for everybody to have a bit of the pie. But again, I don't want people killing themselves over Dangote Refinery. If that stock is liquid as it should be, it will find its proper price. I've asked people who took part in the private placement and who are intending to take part in the public offer. Have you seen the prospectus? I don't think there's anybody who has seen Dangote Refinery prospectus. I don't think there's anybody who has seen the finances of Dangote Refinery. So again, um, even though some people are already in it, I won't be surprised if after listing the price comes down below what people bought. However, I have seen some kind of walk back, we're thinking the refinery will be listed simultaneously in London and Nigeria and other jurisdictions. But what we are getting now is they are going to list first in Nigeria, then after 3 years before they start listing. We know, I know exactly the playbook there. I know what's going on. Because that's the only way. That's the only way you will not get enough liquidity. And so the price will just keep going up and up and up. Okay? Just like what they did with Geregu, and see what has happened to Geregu now. These things, they keep repeating themselves. But the question is whether people learn from those history or mistakes. So, yeah, for Evercap, say give it some time. For all they are going through, we still give it to them that at least they gave people equal opportunity to be able to take part in the listing by introduction. So we give that to them. For everybody that is listening here, um, it's the passion that drives us. Okay, like today is Saturday, we should be watching football, doing other things and other. But sometimes I just feel, you know, we live in a society where people are more interested in patronizing, watching stupid things, you know, Bella, Ifikata, and all that. And sometimes you begin to wonder, is Nigeria really an Olodo uprising society? Because for people who come and add meaning to your life, I don't know why it's such a big deal to get people to, let's say, follow, subscribe all their YouTube channels, their Spotify, their Rumble, you know, their TikTok, their Instagram. I don't know why it's such a big deal. But if it were Pelanas shouting Jesus, or if Kata is shouting Jesus, the whole page will be full. Everybody will follow them, fully subscribe. I understand that people need to unwind and, get some amusement. But again, you ask yourself, what do these people add to your life? Is there anything that we don't know about what they are doing? Because every time it's like it's all well and good until you become a KC or MC luxury incident, and then they start denying you. So it's the passion that drives us. Some of us have been in the market long enough. Some of our gains in the market, for some of us, can at least take us through life, you know. But we need to share this experience. We need to inspire young people because we can't all be doing what everybody is doing. The society is going nowhere the way it is right now. Nothing will excite me more to say, oh, I opened a Rumble account. I'm never on Rumble, I'm never on TikTok, but I had to open it because of Greenticker. Those are the things that makes us happy. There are some DMs I receive and I'm so thankful. It's the feeling is so satisfying that it passes every other thing. There are certain things money cannot buy. You understand? So those are the things that drive us. So when we say follow, the reason why we actually want this follow thing is we want to turn ourselves into a force. Okay? If we had like maybe 100,000 followers on Twitter and we wrote that letter to the NGX, I'm sure by now they would have told us the day they are coming. We need those numbers sometimes. Okay? We need, and that's why we are going to our platform. We realize that the older folks, they are more comfortable with Facebook. That's why we have Facebook. The younger people are more comfortable with TikTok and Rumble. Rumble is a new one, and that's why we are focusing. We don't just want to put our energies on just a certain demographic. We want everybody to be carried along because the earlier you start, the better. For some of us, if we had started investing from our university days, we'll probably not be here doing this. I'm sure you have to call me Mr. Charles or Sir Charles or Chief Charles for me to even answer you, because would have gone beyond, you know. But anyways, that's a joke. I am who I am. If I like, I can have the whole Nigeria. I'll still be as simple as I am. I don't. Those things don't phase me, because I'm not the youngest who's been that person. I'm not the oldest who's been that person. I'm not the first. I won't be the last. So the most important thing is, you know, try to inspire people. Try to he- teach people how to fish, right? And that's the only way we can get ourselves out of the conundrum we find ourselves in Nigeria. So that's what drives us. So go, like go to, even if you are not, I know a lot of people, you can watch YouTube without subscribing. But the only way you can actually make an effect is when you subscribe, you like, and you make a comment, right? And that way we would our algo will go around, and many more people will be seeing it. Go to Rumble. Say, "Oh, you know what? I don't know what Rumble is, Rumble, but I have to open an account just to be able to follow these people." We have there's certain platform we have over 4,000 followers and all that. And when we drop a message and we say we need this thing to be retweeted, we won't see more than 100 retweets and all that stuff. We have to come together as a force. I know a lot of people have been asking me, what is it, this stuff you say you are planning, this stuff you are planning to do and all that. Yeah, for us to be able to do that effectively, we need numbers, because that's what people look at. If we don't have that number, and that's why, for if I were you, if you have kids, if you have brothers, you have sisters, you who you want to teach financial education, you tell them, follow these people, follow them. If you have any question, just follow them. If we had our ways, we'll go to all the universities in Nigeria and do seminars. We'll start higher institutions. That's where we'll start from, you know, and we'll start to like educate people, the 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 benefit of starting to invest early, the benefit of looking at the long picture, the benefit of spending your time doing things that would benefit your life instead of wasting your data watching uh, stupidities of other people. People go there, make a fool of themselves. They can't even construct one sentence in English, and people flock to them like something else. So you begin to wonder, what kind of a society are we? Do we really want to change the society, or uh, do we want it to remain the way it is? So that's our motivation. We want a better society. Nobody teaches you, even in advanced part of the world, nobody teaches you financial education, which is a very big defect. People hear about mortgages, mortgages, mortgages. They don't know how mortgages work. People hear about, I mean, like, you can imagine um, not being able to look at history and see how people create wealth. Okay? Look at the British Empire. What they did basically was colonizing people and taking their lands. Up to today, uh, you still pay tax to the Britons because they bought all the lands. And what you are basically doing is rebuying, listen from them. And that's why anything today you still see British streets in everywhere they colonize, and royalties are being sent to them. So uh, when our parents, if they had focused, if our parents, grandparents focused on putting their money into buying all the lands in their local government, some of us would be doing better than what we did today. How many people teach kids to buy lands, properties, and all that stuff? Even if you want to do now, you can't any longer because it's so expensive. And then the way our country is difficult to actually buy land, without problems. It's so difficult. So we want a situation where we want people to start investing as quickly as they can. Teach them how to do that, so that they realize that uh, they don't have to depend on salaries for the rest of their life. They realize that 9 to 5 is not the way to financial independence. You have, if you are doing 9 to 5, then you'll be doing like probably 4 to 5, 9 to 5 for you to be able to get to that level. But the problem with that is your quality of life and is greatly diminished. You don't have enough quality time to spend with your family and stuff like that. So let's all start to imbibe a new culture in the Nigeria. Let's all start telling them, you know what, start little by little and see where you will get to in like 10 years, in like 15 years. You can imagine if you encourage your kid to start investing from first year in the university, by the time they come out, they would have made all their mistakes and they're still young. They would have made all their mistakes and all that, and they can actually become like form a consortium and become something for the alumnus of for the alumni of the university they belong to. They'll be able to like raise fund. They'll be able to like do things and stuff like that. So those are the things that drive us. Those are the things that motivate us. We don't want to make the mistakes our parents made. A lot of our parents didn't even do any kind of investing at all. So that's what that's what pushes us. So one final appeal: go follow us on all our handles, and create create login or whatever, so that you're able to like, you're able to share, you're able to subscribe, and share this to your loved ones, not just you, because if you are the only person who is making it in your family, you're making life difficult for yourself. Because what will happen is you just have a lot of mouths to feed, and that we don't feed people. We teach people how to feed themselves. Okay, and that's the whole essence of investing. Don't monopolize whatever you are getting, and you don't have to. It's not everything we say that is correct. I mean, like, we all make mistakes, like Onome said. We are human beings, we are all fallible. So if it gets to that point where we say something, you can go do your research and you can better it. The other day I was talking about UPDC and how cheap I think the stock is. And the next day, one lady did one person, I don't know if it's a lady or a guy, did a proper analysis, or a near proper analysis of what he or she thought about it. And I was very impressed. Even though I've not had time to reply to the person, I was impressed that at least I was able to challenge the person's intellect, and the person went to do their research. And that's what I want us to do as a community. Okay? But the thing is, again, for all of us, because we know the Nigerian market and how it operates and the people who play in the market, and we know their philosophies, the way they do their things, there are certain things there are certain things we recommend, and we don't put too much consideration to a couple of other things people will put that consideration into, because we know how the market works. Vis-a-vis if we are investing in other parts of the world, it's a little bit different in Nigeria. I maintain again, the market cap of UPDC is just about 60 billion. One of their property is more than 100 billion. One. And yet the whole company is valued at 60 billion. So, like, there's a disconnect in valuation. And for something like that, I don't even bother myself to go and look at balance. You are just wasting time. And then you look at the major shareholders, UAC and Custodian. That is enough for me. You don't know better than these guys, because they are the ones who are seeing everything. Uh, Retail shareholders have about 4% of those shares. Between between UAC and Custodian, they have 90 something percent. Is UAC a bad company? Is UPDC a bad company? You think you do better due diligence than they do? You think you have more information than they do, than they have, and then they are there, and then you are looking at it at giveaway price like this, and I don't waste my time with that. I just take. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to take a chance on this. Let me just get like a couple couple units, and let's see what happens. Whatever they want to do, I'll be waiting for them. You are not waiting for that one to go up or go down, go up or go down. Because, okay, if it goes up and they decide to do something, you might miss out. Just buy and leave it. Whatever they want to do, just be waiting for them. That is all. There's no too much balance sheet. If you like, go and be doing balance sheet for. I just if one of your properties where you have close to like 20, but one of your properties is more than what the market is valuing your company. I don't even know what to tell you again. Festival Hotel alone is about 60 billion. And then the properties, yes, they have sold some of those properties, but when when they bought that property 100% and they were selling, but people do not understand. They do not understand how some of these things work. So you see something like that, we see a discrepancy like that, and you come and start be telling me about balance sheet. I'll be looking at you. When we discussed FTN cocoa maybe 2 years ago, when cocoa prices were going off the roof and people were arguing about balance sheet, I was laughing. If you noticed, all this period that the market has been trading sideways, FTN cocoa has just been balanced, just there, just there, just it will go up today, go down tomorrow, go just there. Shows you something is happening. But when you tell people to go and look at FTN cocoa, they will say, what are these people? Company that is going bankrupt. And I'll be looking at them and laughing. Again, I don't blame anybody. It's a situation of these companies not being able to actually tell shareholders what they are doing. When was the last time you heard any news release from FTN Cocoa? When was the last time you heard any news release from Tantalizer? When was the last time you heard any news release from any of these, most of these companies? The only thing you hear from banks is result. Apart from result, you don't hear anything. Is that how companies should be operating? And then, we rely on some of the intels we have on ground to like get this information, and we piece them together, and we try to make a case for what we think is happening. Or sometimes we know what is happening that they don't want to disclose to the public. And then, we come and we say it, and you people think Naza is a mad woman and the Onomechas and Seko are madmen. So we try to do our best for the community, and let's hope that the only sacrifice you can make for us too is take that time, open these accounts, and start following us there. It would really help us. Thank you.
Okay, so as we wrap up, let me just answer, I guess, the last couple of questions. There's a question on Access Bank. Let me be blunt. I think I've been the bluntest today. Usually, I just let Charles to be blunt, and I just mute my mic and be listening. But Pascal, I'm sure you have a couple of millions. Maybe we can take this matter offline. Go and sit down with the financial advisor, and think structure your portfolio for you. What we say is not financial advice, and I know when we say these things, sometimes people get angry. That's what do you mean by that? But that's the reality. Access, I think the last time I discussed Access has a perception issue. Access is the cheapest bank, but you see, if your perception has issues, then you will continue to struggle. So really, the challenge that Access is facing is perception. 50% of the reason why Access price is undervalued is perception. Perception does not change overnight, right? Perception might take months, might take years to change. So till that negative perception, or the what's the word to use? Till the market has a more positive perception of Access is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. That's the reality. It's not that Access is it expensive, is it going anywhere? It's not going anywhere. People want to see the African subsidiaries generate more profit. People want to have a clear dividend policy. Access, I mean, excuse me, of the Fugas banks, access doesn't have, you can't even figure out access dividend policy. Shegun Agbaje will tell you GTCO policy. Every bank analyst who covers GTCO can tell you GTCO policy. First Holdco a couple of weeks ago came out with a policy subject to approval of CBN. If CBN doesn't approve it, maybe CBN approves a lower payout threshold, they'll say it. UBA is the same thing. Zenith, I think they have a dividend policy, you can figure out some of these things. So access has a perception issue. People are not feeling very confident about you. People don't have clarity about what you are doing. People don't have enough knowledge. Maybe they've said it in calls, but they have to break it down to the layman. Any entry level person can tell you this is the GTCO dividend policy. First Holdco has come out. So those little things, that clarity, those things need to change positively for people to have more confidence in access. We saw it happen with EcoBank. After how many years EcoBank paid a dividend, the stock ran a bit and it came back. And EcoBank, everybody knows the problem with EcoBank is the Nigerian unit that is struggling. When they fix the Nigerian unit, that stock will fly. And the stock flew a bit this year, then pulled back a bit. I'm not sure what, I don't know. I think EcoBank should be up maybe 30 or 40, 50% this year. They've done well. So that's perception issue. Till it doesn't change. And that's why really access share price is not going to move anywhere. So there was somebody question on tantalizers and NACO. Charles has discussed tantalizers. I don't need to go into that. Tantalizers is a restructuring story. So you either wait for the seeds of the restructuring to bear fruit, or you can work out what you think the restructuring would, what kind of returns or what yield those returns will do in the future. So then for NACO, I covered NACO, I think a couple of weeks ago on Spotify. I check out on Spotify. It's a great company. I was actually a pre-market, so I keep saying this. I know it seems like maybe these guys are just come to sell market, but the reality is, I'm personally always very circumspect about certain things I say. So it's not just anybody can say, "Oh, NACO is a great stock, buy." The question is why, and that's what we do. We break down here. We tell you the story, and we give you the numbers. The numbers are somewhere on Spotify, somewhere on one of the pre-market videos we did maybe last week or last 2 weeks. So go check it out, because at the same time we also have people say these guys just one bad person. This I know they had my mouth. I know they talk like say what are my mouth, they talk as CB. All bad person will say that, but these guys all we do is talk about penny stocks. That's not the reality. We actually back with numbers. We've covered some of the most oddest companies on the exchange. Oddest. It's not because it's just cheap. We back it with numbers. Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. So NACO is a great company. It's a duopoly in that space. I don't see that changing. If it were to change, they would fight tooth and nail. It's a great company. I don't know what the price is. I think maybe it's 140 or something. I've looked at that good price in the last couple of days. But it's a solid firm. You just have to get in at the right price. What is the right price? X varies. If you're going to use P ratio or average growth rate, you have your right price. If you are going to use the support and resistance, you have your right price. You can blend both of them, if you understand it. So for more context on that, you can check out Senko. So I think we've basically covered all the questions. Time is 9:19 p.m. We started about 6:45 from the dots, so we've run for almost 3 hours. I guess we can round it up. Would have loved to continue. Just before we round it up, I'd also like to give some context as to why we are pushing. We had a poll sometime 3 4 days ago. No, not 3 days, maybe 2 days ago. We had a poll where we asked people what time what their favorite social media platform, how long they are on it, how often they are on it, and all that. Where the 1 year goal for a Greenticker platform is to run a 6 to 12 hours live trading session on the NGX. That's a 1 year goal. But we cannot run that goal except we have following. So it's a chicken and egg situation. To cover more hours on the market, we need following. If we don't have following, some people will not watch because some people look for following. So that is where we are going to. A lot of these, sometimes people ask questions, oh, this and that, this and that. If we had a 24 hours live stream, just plus with the AI can fish out some of these things. You say, oh, this 24 hours, you discuss this, discuss that. You can decide to say from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., we're discussing earnings. From 9 a.m. to 12 noon, we're discussing market. From 1 p.m. or from 2 p.m., 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., we're talking market close. 7 p.m., we're popping here, discuss whatever I want to discuss. It is doable. The audience is there, but we need more following to make it worthwhile. I see also no reason why we can't have our own live event, but you need following. If we do live event, then maybe nobody did the hall. Not pay now. So these are some of the things that we are doing that the market is demanding. But this is why we actually need following to put these things into action. Even something as simple as live streaming. It's not magic. There's no reason why we cannot have
Anamski, can you hear me? Sanko, can you hear me? Sanko.
Yeah, I think Onomeza is frozen.
Otherwise,
So I
network
think
has gone off. So,
yeah.
for the only reason why we are going through all the networks, all the platform is just to make sure everybody is covered. You understand? We don't want to leave anybody out in this drive thing. For the person who was asking about NACO, NACO is a very good company. NACO has about 7 subsidiaries that just started off, and a couple of them have started generating a lot of money. We've broken down NACO completely. Those 7 subsidiaries, they are going to even make more money than NACO. And that's why NACO is able to like do bonus, because they know that once those subsidiaries start making money, you have to probably allow more people to buy more shares. If not, you'll push NACO to over 1,000. And once the price gets over 1,000, then you know what that means. So yeah, if you are in NACO, again, there are some stocks, we just call them stable. Stable are those stocks we don't touch. If you are fortunate to get them into your portfolio, buy as much as you can. And this whole penny stock thing, all these whole stocks you are seeing now, we are once penny stock, including NACO. NACO was once a penny stock that got to close over 200 naira and all that stuff, and has retreated a bit now. People bought it at 2 naira. People bought NACO at 2 naira. So what are you going to? We see you never know the company that is going to make that run for you. So from some of the stocks we have been trying to like tell you to pay attention to, you never know the one that is going to make that run, and you will see some fantastic gains as long as you are patient. But you need patience for you to be able to hold a stock from 2 naira to over 200 naira, and where it is right now. If you don't have the patience, if you don't have the investing philosophy, then you'll miss it. That a stock was once bad does not mean it will remain bad. Once a stock is undergoing restructuring, chances are things will start to happen in that stock. But you have to be attentive. You have to pay attention, which is what we do. We pay attention to the market. When we're saying that we have a food, if an FMCG with market cap of 6 billion, I mean, like you should be doing your homework and knowing which company we are talking about. You know, and then you go and do more homework and ask yourself, is it really what can I do this? 6 billion. We look at it, and our calculation is 6 billion to 60 billion. That's 10x. So that company can go from that price now to like 10 times the price easily. And then, like Onome was saying, for every so-called penny stock you think we are recommending, if you think we don't like quality, look for 10 MTN you have, I have one. For the 10 plus you think you have, I have one. For the 10 UAC you think you have, I have one. We have all these stocks. But if I come here and be discussing those stocks with you, you will discourage a lot of people. There was some time ago, somebody called me and I was telling him, my friend, if you have stocks, some of these stocks, buying 10,000 units is not really a lot. It won't do much for you. You know, sorry, buying 1,000 units of those stocks will not do much for you. I said, for most of the stocks that I have, my reference point is 100,000. And the person was saying, oh, you think I'm happy you think I'm happy you are telling me that kind of a thing? I said, you see, unsolicited though. This is somebody who came to my phone. I was asking me questions and I was trying to advise the person, and the person is telling me that it's not happy that I have because I'm trying to tell you how I run my own portfolio. So sometimes, we will not come here and ask you to go and buy UAC, Seplat, NACO, Dangote Cement, Dangote Sugar, Zenith Bank, GTB, Wema Bank, uh, just name them. We have all those. We have all those stocks. Okay, but I'll be disingenuous to you if I say, go and put all your money in Seplat. I'll be disingenuous to you. You will never be rich buying Seplat, just like you will never be rich buying Bitcoin. Now, if you bought Bitcoin, if you bought Seplat when it was during the IPO at 585 and then it fell down to 300, we are talking. But if I ask you to go and buy Seplat now, I'm being disingenuous to you. I'm not helping you. If I tell you go and buy Darkcom now, and you say, what is there? There's nothing there, this, that. Darkcom will conveniently come. It will go from the 1 naira it is right now, it will go to like 10 naira. Will you not be happy for it? So sometimes, we don't we like everything we do, we back it up. Believe you me, we back it up. We don't just come and give it to you because it's a penny stock or whatever. No. And for avoidance of doubt too, I just made it very clear to you. For those big stocks you think you have, we all have it. But not at the price people are buying. Not at the price people are buying. I've told people some stocks in my portfolio can go down 300%. No shaking. I'm not shaking. Seriously speaking. Because I've stayed in the market through the good and bad times. People are just looking for the good times. NGX, now they rain now. You go and buy NACO at 200, which is not a bad buy. It's 140, yes. If you are ready to hold for 5 years, your 200 will go to 1,000 naira. It's as easy as that. But even at 200, how many can you buy? So those are the issues. So we try our best as possible to help. You go and meet these guys now, they no. You don't have to buy this. You don't have to buy this. This is a useless stock. This is a useless stock. This is a useless stock. And then they leave your stock and maybe you have probably like total portfolio value. You are probably looking at maybe 20 million. They just tell you, okay, buy GTB, buy Zenith, buy Seplat, buy Arade. How much quantity now? If I have 1 million unit of a share and it moves 1 naira in a day, that means I'm 1 million naira rich that day. Is this possible? Yeah, it's possible because we've experienced situations like that so many times. So please, let's be guided. The fact that we point you to areas where you can actually generate quick bucks and probably start to load them into the MTN, start to load them into the Dangote sugars, start to load them into the Dangote cement, start to load them into the Boa food. Does not mean we don't have those stocks. It's just that we didn't buy at the price at these prices. So we just try and see anything that will help you generate good money, because you need good money. When all the stocks were trading for 50 kobo, when we had a lot of 50 kobo stocks, if you bought even this charms that is 4 naira, for a very long time, it was 30 kobo. For a very long time, charms was less than 2.5 years ago, charms was 30 kobo. So if you put 1 million that time, do you know how many shares? It gets to 4 naira and you sell. Can you not go and buy 10,000 units of Arade? So you must understand the investment philosophies. You must not write off a stock completely because you think it's penny stock or the earnings are useless. The question is, if the earnings are useless, how come these companies are still existing? How come these people, if you think these companies are really running at a loss like they present to you, how come the people running the companies are still there running the companies? You have to be smart. You have to think. Thank you. And Onome, you are back. We lost you for some bit.
Yeah, I think it's village people, but
Sorry, now Union. The FCMG company I'm talking is now Union, please. So let's be guided, please. Eh,
um, so yeah, I don't know where you guys lost me.
no, wait, you were rounding off, which
Um,
was okay. I was just adding to
okay.
the the questions about NACO and the rest. I was telling them, even if you buy NACO now, as long as you're able you want to you're able to wait for 5 years, because NACO has a lot of new subsidiaries. Some of them that started generating revenue in the last year. If you're able to wait, you would have thought that buying 200 is a miss, but I mean, if you wait for 5 years and all those subsidiaries start generating revenues, you could get it at 1,000 naira, because that is why it was so easy for them to give bonus shares, because they have already done their extrapolations and they know what each of those subsidiaries will be contributing to the bottom line of the parent group. So yeah, nothing serious. Yeah, it's okay if you can't be another. I mean, like if you're in any of those in any of our platform. Sometimes we crisscross. Most of the information we post on one platform, we try to post them on every other platform. So it's all good, man. Yeah, seriously, you can't be on uh, the sell off, like we said. The sell off, yeah, the sell off is so the this sideways movement will be on for quite some time. Okay, the sideways movement will be on for quite some time. So if you have a dry powder, you just be buying in tranches. Keep buying your MTN. Of all the three that you've picked there, I buy MTN preferentially. Uh, Dangote Cement is not bad, because their London listing will probably boost them. But because of the liquidity of Boa Food, I'll probably keep off that. Buy your MTN, buy your Dangote Cement, and probably instead of Boa Food, why don't you buy Dangote Sugar? Because eventually we'll have Dangote Food. It's coming. It's just a matter of time. Dangote Food is still going to come on board because, uh, those two Alhajis, even though they know how to be friends in public, internally they beef themselves. They want to outdo themselves. Dangote Food has been floated for quite some time. It didn't materialize the first time. Dangote Food will comprise of Dangote Sugar, NASCON, and Dangote Rice. It didn't materialize the first time, but it's still going to um, come to fruition. So I'd rather buy Dangote Sugar or NASCON prefer in preference to Boa food, because eventually those will be the components of Dangote food. So I will just keep Boa food on the side. I know they are doing very well, but I'm not very comfortable with the liquidity. And the FCMG company we are talking about is McNichols, okay, not GGB, not Union, okay. So yes, Onome, you can round off the space now. We've done well for everybody who has
All right.
come here today.
Thank you all for joining. I will say, please. I know it's 3 hours. That's why sometimes we try not to make these events too long. Please go back and watch. I'd also like to give some context as we round up why we try as much as possible to have all these platforms, this data across all platforms. We do our best to do so, but reality is sometimes um, due to the nature of the platform, some platforms cannot handle a lot of information. Um, as we also know that whether we like it or not, Nigeria is a poor country. A lot of people are still subscribing 500 naira data, 1000 naira data. What can that do for this economy? How many megabyte can that buy? We are still in an environment where you have a free Wi-Fi. The first thing that people do is to put on free Wi-Fi. So a lot of the content I will push is because they are more efficient. Of all the platforms, I think Spotify is the data friendly version. Even YouTube consumes data, so not many people might be able to watch this video for 3 hours, but a lot of people can go on a Spotify and go and replay it because probably you use half the data they are using on YouTube if you can manage it well. Um, TikTok, the same thing. Funny enough, I was on a call and TikTok may actually even be consuming more data than many of these platforms because as you enter TikTok, everything just goes back to back. So I do follow all the platforms. Take your time, go and replay this. This is just about 3 hours. Take the time to replay it. Tuesday, I believe, is a holiday, so that's enough time to go back and replay this space. Inshallah, we should be on Twitter tomorrow. Who knows? We may just decide to maybe on StreamYard and stream it on Twitter so we can maybe share our screen for a change and let people see our screen. And as we take questions, we can actually show them. Because if we start breaking down numbers, a lot of times we don't break down numbers on Twitter. If I start mentioning plus one minus one plus one minus one, after a while you switch off. That's why we keep saying some content is easier to understand on YouTube because you can see the numbers. Some content is easier to understand on audio platforms because we just give you a 1 minute, 2 minute summary, but you need to have the full picture. So try and be everywhere. Thank you all for joining us. Have yourselves a lovely weekend and have yourselves a lovely holiday ahead next week.
Onome,
I hear you.
does Sheon want to say anything? I see he's just joined.
That's true. She is I think maybe she is the least front facing of us, which is good. You know. Some people are hot to back in between. So Sheon, go ahead if you are here.
Not much to add, guys. Let's just say good night to everyone. Thank you.
All right. Good night, guys.
All right.